happy with that. So let's just end off with a quick recap. So with going back to the main README, I think I can check this one off now, and so Golang is complete. Woohoo! All right. So we've got all the Java ones left to go. So, and of course all the cleanup left to go as well, if this is going to be completed. Now, what do we do? What do we do in this one, right? So, started off with a boilerplate version of this file that just does importing of, the standard Go built-in libraries from Go itself, plus .env and the header SDK, and then had a bit at the beginning where it loaded up the .env and then initialize an operator, and then had to-do insert code here. Then went to ChatGPT, which did most of the magic today. I'm just going to quickly scroll up to the bottom and recap the prompts that we use. So in the first prompt, right? Hi, I'd like you to act as programming assistant, blah, 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 give it the details, use some certain prompting techniques to get a more experienced, which translates to, better translation ability. Secondly, input the starter script, right, which is the one I described earlier on, so that it doesn't go too far off the rails, to sort of like to keep ChatGPT fenced into where to the area that it needs to play in, and then also give it a bit more fenced in instructions, right? So give it a dependency, say, hey, I don't want to, get all that boilerplate all over again, and say this is the part where you need to add the code, and then also, unfortunately, it seems to be very bad at following this specific instruction where you say, don't give me the full code listing, only give me the parts you need to change it. Obviously, completely ignore that. Sometimes it does actually follow that instruction, but most of the time it doesn't, and this is what we saw today. Understood. And then the next instruction was that, hey, we're not doing a direct translation because, we don't want to use Ethers.js in Go. Instead, we want to use the header SDK instead. And then so we listed out the specific things that we needed to do. And for the most part, I could tell that it faithfully did that. The only thing was with contract create transaction, it didn't do a good job, like it messed out on something. Okay, so then I finally gave it the full listing of the original file to translate. It came back with something, and instead of actually giving me the bits that need to change, it just gave me the full code listing. For whatever reason, it's not so good at doing that particular type of instruction. So then I predicted that was an error, so it read in the EVM bytecode, but then it went straight to contract create transaction without referencing the bytecode in any way. So I said, hey, you need to do a file create transaction on HFS first, and then extract the file ID, and then pass it into contract create transaction. So then the second time around, it did that all right. And that was good enough for me, as far as ChatGPT was concerned. And I just came back over here and did a bunch of cleanup, essentially making sure that this, the comments and the structure and, the output at the end were consistent with the JavaScript version as far as possible. And then also spent some time thinking about how exactly the redaction should occur, given that it wasn't a one-to-one mapping in the cases, in some of the cases. Actually, in both of the cases, I should say. All right, and that's it. That's it from me. Yeah,